Welcome, yogis. Welcome to your class today. So please grab your oil or your incense, whatever you're using to start your practice. Today I am using a bit of peppermint just to waken up my senses and bring a bit of energy and enliven all my cells. So however you wish to start your practice, you can just find stillness in a comfortable seated position, or just enjoy the aroma of the oil that you choose today. Or you can also smudge yourself with some incense, some sage, some Palo Santo. Just taking this moment to bring yourself to your mat. And then finding your meditation seat. Lifting right onto the top of your sit bones. And then when you're ready, just allow your eyes to close. Just bringing yourself into center, connecting to your source, to the prana that fills your body. And just begin to tune into the feeling of energy in your body. Starting to deepen into your breath. As you breathe in, feel the chest and the heart expand. And soften on the exhale. So the invitation today is to look inside, to feel inside, and to start to create rather, a conversation or a dialogue with the body. And just bringing ourselves into a place of mindful awareness. So for the next few inhales, just drawing the breath down to the legs, to the tip of the sit bones, to the base of the spine. And on the exhale, letting the spine rebound tall and lift up effortlessly. Breathing the spine long and tall. And through our practice today, we are simply going to build on this dialogue. Just waking up the body, charging the energy system. And then when you're ready, gently allow your eyes to open. Welcome to your practice. All right, so I'd like us to start in a downward facing dog. So bringing yourself up into a down dog. Just take a moment to explore your posture here. You might need to take your feet a little further back or your hands a little further forward so that you can really find some length in the spine and the back of the legs. And we're going to stay here for a few more cycles of breath. Just feeling into the body. Starting to tap into that dialogue so we can really listen to how the body responds and what info is coming back to us on the state of the body. Feel for rolling your triceps in towards each other so you broaden into the upper back. Drawing your sit bones down towards your heels as you draw your heels down towards the mat. Allow the head to hang, relax into the jaw. Spreading into your fingers. Let's take a nice deep inhale together. And sigh it out. Rise all the way up onto your toes. Bend your knees and bring them down to the mat, coming back into your tabletop position. All right, you're going to take your knees out wide as the mat. Your feet are directly behind your knees. And we're going to come into our puppy pose. So walking your hands forward, keep your hips above your knees. And you can bring your chin down towards the mat or your forehead if it's too much strain on the back of the neck. And just take a few deep breaths here. So I want you to get your mind around the feeling of, or the action of softening your bones. So soften into the ribs, soften into the heart, soften into the sternum, the breastplate. Take 2 more breaths here. Nice. And then slowly walk your hands back. Bring your big toes to touch and take your seat back towards your heels, reaching your arms forward and softening your forehead down to the ground. And then take a nice big inhale. Feel your belly expand between the thighs. And as you exhale, soften everything down towards the earth. I'm just taking 2 more breaths this way. Nice. And from here, walk your hands back towards your knees as you lengthen through the spine. You're going to just bring your knees together, take your hips over to one side, and extend your legs out in front of you. Bend into the knees, soles of the feet onto the ground. And we're going to come to lie all the way down onto your back. So extending your arms forward, find a long spine. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale as you start to round into your sacrum, tucking your pelvis. And then lower down 1 vertebra at a time until your back is flat on the mat. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Just hugging them in, maybe rocking from side to side. And we're going to come into a happy baby. So bringing the soles of the feet so they're pointing up towards the sky. You can grab your ankles, you can grab the outside of the feet, whatever's available to you. But try and get those knees at a 90-degree angle. Your elbows are in the inside of your knees and your hands are either on the outside of your shins, your ankles, or your feet. Pressing down into your lower back. Let the back of the head be heavy. And just focus on the quality of your breath here. So notice how on the inhale, we start off quite strong. And then we taper off towards the end of that inhale and go straight into the exhale. So I'd like you to invite a nice fluid, equal breath from the inhale, top of the inhale. And as you get to the end of the inhale, it fluidly moves to your exhale. So it's like there's no in between. It moves beautifully from your inhale to your exhale. So one fluid breath flow from the beginning of the inhale to the end of the exhale. Let's take 2 more breaths this way. Beautiful. And then bring your knees in towards your chest, hug them in. And we're going to start with a little bit of ab work just to warm up the core. So coming back to center, you're going to align your knees above your hips, making sure that they're not drawing in towards your chest. So keep them further back in line with the hips, and then lower your feet so that they are lower than the height of your knees. So drawing down, your heels drawing down towards the back of your thighs. And then press your lower back into the mat so you engage your core. Interlacing your hands behind your head. Relax the elbows out to the sides. Core is engaged, lower back pressing down. Take a deep inhale to start. We're going to lift the head and shoulders. Holding your breath, press your lower back into the mat as you lift your tailbone up. And then exhale the elbows to the left knee, extending your right leg at 45 degrees. So not all the way up, not all the way down, but finding a point in between. And you want to flex or floint into the toes and find an internal rotation in that extended leg. All right, so I know we're here for a few breaths, so just while I explain the movement of this, I really want you to focus on that internal rotation of your extended leg and making sure that that left knee hasn't come in towards your chest. So this is not like your gym abs where we're cycling. Keep that left knee on top of the hip. All right, nice. Inhale, bring everything back to center. Keep your head and shoulders off of the mat. Hold the breath. Press your lower back down, tailbone tucks. Exhale the elbows to your right knee. Extend the left. Pull belly down. Internal rotation in that extended leg. Inhale, bring everything back to center. Hold the breath. Tuck the tailbone. Exhale to your left. Extend the right leg. Keep lifting the chin, imagining you've got a lemon or an orange underneath. Inhale, come back to center. Hold. Lower back down, tailbone up. Exhale to your right, extending the left leg. Pull belly down. Inhale, come back to center. Let's take one more round. Hold the breath. Stay with the breath here. Tuck your tailbone. Exhale to your left. Extend the right leg. Internally rotate that leg. Pull belly down. Inhale, back to center. Hold. Tailbone tucks as you press the lower back down. Exhale to your right. Extend the left leg. Navel draws down to the spine. Inhale back and exhale, release. Nice, well done. All right, so it becomes that much harder when you stick with the breath and with those small little detailed movements. All right, placing the soles of your feet down onto your mat, knees are bent. We're going to set up for a bridge pose. So arms alongside you, your fingers drawing down towards your heels. If you can brush your longest finger along your heels. Keep your heels in line with your sit bones. Take a nice deep inhale, tucking your tailbone as we start to lift up lower back, middle back, and upper back. So just starting to walk the shoulder blades in towards each other. If it feels good, you can interlace your hands behind your back, squeezing those shoulders as you lift up through the heart, lifting up through the hips. Back of the neck is nice and long, knees drawing forward. And then find that beautiful fluid breath flow. From the top of the inhale, all the way to the end of the exhale. Take 2 more here. Releasing your hands, spreading into the shoulder blades. Slowly start to lower the spine down one vertebra at a time. Tailbone comes down last. Nice. All right. Bringing your knees in towards your chest. We're going to start to roll the length of your spine a few times, starting to massage out the spine as you rock back and forth. And we are going to cross your ankles and just step it back into your tabletop position. Coming onto all fours. And we'll start to move through the spine with a bit of cat and cow. So taking a deep inhale, I want you to initiate this movement from the base of your spine. So dropping the belly, drawing the heart forward, lifting the head. And then exhale, tuck your tailbone round into the spine, head comes down last. Inhale into your cow pose, keeping your arms straight. Exhale, round into your back, pull belly in. 2 more, inhaling, belly drops, heart draws forward, stretch the front of your neck, and exhale, round. Last one, inhale, and exhale. Good. Coming back to a neutral spine, take your hands, one hand's distance forward, spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes under, and make your way into your downward facing dog. So feel for spreading into your upper back by rolling your shoulders outwards. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Start to walk your feet forward, coming into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Keep your feet about hip distance apart. Bend into your knees, and you're going to interlace your fingers and bring them behind your head, kind of at the base of where the neck meets the base of the skull. And I want you to feel for drawing your elbows in towards each other, and then just allow the head to hang. So a bit of a neck traction here. Allow the torso to drop down. Just creating a bit of space in between the vertebra. Last 2 breaths. I'm just staying with that dialogue. Feeling the release of energy in your body as you let go. Beautiful. And release your neck traction, bringing your fingertips down to the ground. Take a nice deep inhale as you find a flat back. And then ground your hands down. We're going to step it back to plank pose, taking your feet all the way to the back of the mat, pulling your lower belly in. We're going to take a chaturanga with your knees. So lowering your knees down, lift your head and heart, keep the elbows tucked in, and come all the way down, nice and slow. Inhale, lift up into low cobra. So engage the legs, press into your hands as you draw your chest away from the mat, shoulders soften. And exhale to push back into your downward facing dog. On your next breath in, right leg reaches back behind you. Keep the hips nice and level. And then draw that right knee in towards your chest as you round into your back, drawing your shoulders forward. We're going to step that right foot between your hands, coming into a lunge. Open up into the chest, come onto the fingertips. So make sure that you're not standing on a tight rope. And then you're going to power down through the front leg as you rise your arms all the way up, coming into your high lunge. Let's take a deep inhale. And then exhale into your cactus arms. So bending into the elbows. Fingertips are pointing up. And as you bend the elbows, I want you to connect to the shoulder blades and drop them down a little deeper. So notice where your shoulders drop down and hit the back ribs. And at that part, I want you to lift that part up. Lift that part of your body up. So the back of the heart opening up. Breathing deeply. So that's going to bring you into connection with the physical heart space. Now keep this integration with the shoulder blades and reach your arms up. So there's a deepening into the mid-back as you stretch through the fingertips. Take a nice inhale and exhale, release. Hands come down to the mat. Lower your back knee down. Untuck the back toes, and we're going to start to straighten into your front leg. You might want to walk your toes forward and then draw them up towards the ceiling. If you need a bit of height, you can place 2 blocks under your hands. Take a nice deep inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale to fold over your extended leg. If you want to take this a little further, walk your hands forward, lengthening through the arms, through the spine. We're just listening to your body. Last 2 breaths. Beautiful. And walking your hands back if they are forward. Lengthen into the spine. Draw that front heel back and then bend into the knees. Ground your hands down. And we're going to step it back into plank pose. We're going to take another chaturanga down with your knees. So lower the knees down, untuck the toes. I want you to keep your shoulder blades squeeze in and down. So there's no rounding in the shoulders. And then tuck your elbows and bring them all the way down. Inhale into your cobra. Pressing your mat away. And exhale back into your downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale and a full exhale. Left leg reaches back behind you, 3-legged dog. Keep your hips level. Draw that right heel down. Left knee draws in towards your chest as you round into your back. And then step your left foot forward between your hands, coming into your lunge. Extending through the back leg, opening up into the collarbones. Again, making sure that you're not on a straight line. Power down through your front leg as you reach your arms all the way up, high lunge. Now keep that same awareness that we did before while you reach your arms up. So dropping the shoulder blades all the way down the back. And then reaching the heart forward and open. Now sweep your arms behind you. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And as you pull your arm bones back, the collarbones widen and open. Now keep that opening and go to the back ribs and start to lift up there so that there's this full chest cavity expansion going on. One more breath. Deepen into Ujjayi. Beautiful. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Lower your back knee down. Untuck your back toes. Take your hips back as you straighten into your front leg. So be mindful to keep that right hip directly above the knee. Left leg extends as much as you can. It doesn't need to be straight, especially if the hamstrings are tight. Use your tools to support you. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale to fold. Feel for pulling your sit bones back so you can really get into those hamstring attachments. And just deepen into your breath as the body opens up and allows you to move into that space. Last breath here. Beautiful. And inhale, long spine. Draw that front heel back towards you. Bend into the knee. Tuck your back toes under and extend through the back leg. We're going to step the right foot forward, coming into your forward fold at the top of your mat. So your feet are not quite hip distance apart, but the heels are under your sit bones. Bend into your knees, take your seat back, and then sweep your arms up, coming into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Drawing your pinky fingers in towards you, softening into the shoulders. Take a deep inhale and exhale to a forward fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Ground your hands down, step back, plank pose. Here you can lower your knees and take a chaturanga as we have been doing, or you can chaturanga all the way to the floor. Point your toes back, inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Bring your knee to your chest, round your back. And step that right foot forward between your hands, coming up into your high lunge. Nice, slow, mindful movements. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step it back, plank pose. Take a full breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Again, using the options that you have available to you. Inhale, cobra, or if you're ready for an up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg reaches up high, three-legged dog. Knee to your chest, round, drawing shoulders forward. Let's step that left foot between your hands, setting up for your high lunge on the other side. Nice and slow. Good. Bringing your hands back down to the mat, using your abs to step that left foot back to meet the right in plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Just noticing the energy running through your body, the feeling of your energy body, of your body expanding, your back, your core, your navel, the heart space, everything expanding. Take one more breath here. Good. Rise up onto the toes. Bend your knees, look up at your hands, walk, step, or float it forward, coming into your forward fold. Heels under your sit bones, bend your knees, take your seat back, Utkatasana, arms reach up. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Left leg steps back, warrior one. Inhale, the arms up high. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step it back, plank pose. Take a full breath here. And exhale, chaturanga with your knees or all the way down. Inhaling into your cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Warrior one. Left leg steps forward. Ground your back foot down. Inhale to sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Use your abs to step it back to plank. Full breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing drop. So just take a moment to drop into the mind, to drop into the open spaces that you've created. Sending your breath there. Good. On your next inhale, right leg reaches up high, three-legged dog. This time open the hip, bend into the top knee, stretch it out. And then extend the leg, square the hips off. Bring your knee to your chest, round into the back, and step that right foot on the outside of your right hand. Lowering the back knee down, untuck the back toes. So this is where you can use your blocks to bring your forearms down. You can also stay up on your hands, or you can come all the way down onto your forearms. Keeping the back knee down so that we're really getting into a bit of flexibility here. So this is a practice of discovery, of self-inquiry and self-exploration. So feel for rerouting your gaze into your breath, into the sensations of your body, and just using that info to guide you on how to move. Last two breaths. Nice, beautiful. Slowly coming up onto your hands. Tuck your back toes under. Extend through the back leg. And we're going to take your right leg back into three-legged dog. Keeping your hips level. Bring your knee back in towards your chest as you round into your back. And then step the right foot forward between your hands. We're setting up for warrior two. So once you're in this posture, just feel it out. And then start to make any micro adjustments to bring you into balance and symmetry. And also to bring you into your strength. Connecting you into that deeper part of your breath and rhythm. Ground into your feet. Active arms. Now straighten into your front leg. Start to hinge forward at the hips, reaching forward with the right hand. And then bring your right hand down to your shin or a block and reach your left arm up. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Feel for lengthening through the right side of the waist. Stacking your shoulders. You can take your gaze up towards your left thumb. If that feels too intense on your neck, take your gaze down to your right foot. Go take one more breath. Inhale, come up to center, keeping your legs straight. And you're going to turn your right toes to face the long edge of your mat, and then turn your left toes to face the back of the mat. So we're reversing our Trikonasana. And start to hinge forward until you can't reach anymore, bringing your left hand down to your shin. Right arm reaches up. Leaning back against that imaginary wall. Engaging the legs, squeezing thighs in towards each other. Now on your next inhale, reach your top arm all the way overhead. So if you're feeling strong today, I invite you to reach your left arm forward, coming into a full Trikonasana. Ground through the feet, power up through the legs, holding it here. One more breath. Then inhale, rise all the way up. Good. Turn your heels in, toes out, and come into your temple squat, reaching your arms out and bringing them down onto your thighs. So just take a moment to move from side to side, just feeling into the hips. Nice. And then bring your hands down to the mat. Keeping your knees bent, hips open. And you're going to walk your hands forward, lengthening into the spine, maybe staying on the fingertips. Holding for 3. For 2, lower those hips. Last one. Good. And walk your hands back. Straighten into the legs, and you're going to turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat, coming into your wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, pause here. Now engage the legs, draw the kneecaps up, bring your hands to your hips, engage the belly, and rise all the way up. Nice. Turn your right toes to face the front of the mat, warrior 2. Good. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. You can bring your elbow onto the thigh and reach your top arm all the way overhead, or bring your hand down onto the ground, bending deeply into that front knee. So I want you to feel the outer right thigh squeezing in just to stabilize the pelvis. Take one more breath here. And exhale, release, swivel onto your back toes as you bring your hands down and step it back into your plank pose. Take a full breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Again, you've always got the option to lower the knees and then bring your body down. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. So just going back to the breath, seeing where the inhale strikes the body. Inhale, left leg reaches back behind you, 3-legged dog. Open up the hip, stretch it out, bend into the knee. Drawing that heel away from the body. And then extend the legs, square the hips off. And we're going to step that left foot on the outside of your left hand, bringing the right knee down to the ground. Setting up for lizard on this side. So again, either staying up on your hands or bringing your forearms down onto blocks, or you can bring them all the way down. So just practicing with the sense of being guided by your own body's feedback, by your own breath. And just listening. If you feel a dullness or a bit of boredom in the body, I think that's a good sign that you can breathe a little deeper and that you can perhaps allow yourself to stretch towards your edge. Softening those hips towards the mat. Drawing that left leg in towards your body. And when you start to push up towards that edge, there is often a huge release of energy that takes place. And we integrate that back into the energetic system, back, up and down the spine. Take 2 more breaths. Beautiful. And slowly coming up onto your hands if you are on your forearms. Tuck your back toes under, extend through the back leg. And we're going to take that left leg back into your 3-legged dog. And then bring your knee in towards your chest, round your back, finding a high plank. And step the left foot forward, setting up for warrior 2 on the other side. Okay, nice. So settle into your posture. So what we did in high lunge, where we integrated those shoulders down, I want you to do that now in your warrior 2. So just really dropping and feeling the bottom tips of those shoulder blades drop down, and even squeezing into the inner shoulder blades, drawing your heart forward. Take 1 more breath. Good, and then straighten into the front leg. We're going to find Trikonasana, hinging forward at the hips. And then reach your left arm down to your shin, right arm reaches up. Stacking the arms beautifully, one on top of the other. And either taking your gaze up towards your right thumb or down towards your left foot. Take 1 more breath. Nice. Inhale, rise all the way up. Okay, let's take it to the back of your mat. So you're turning your left toes to face the front or the long edge of your mat, and the right toes face the back of the mat. And then start to hinge forward at the hips, right arm reaching forward, and then bring it down towards your shin. Left arm reaches up high. Staying with your breath. On your next inhale, reach your top arm all the way overhead. And you can stay here or power down through the legs, engage your core, and then reach that right arm out to the side, coming into your full triangle pose. Holding it here. 1 more breath. Good. Then inhale to rise all the way up. Turn your toes so they're facing the corners of your mat, heels are in. And we'll take your temple squat. Arms reach out, bend into the knees, palms face up. And just a gentle sway from side to side. Nice. Now turn your palms down. Bring the hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Press the palms together as you straighten into the arms. Take a deep inhale, broaden into the chest. And then exhale into a fold halfway. Really getting into the hips nice and deep. Lengthening through the spine. Try not to let the head drop, but keep it in line with the spine. Holding for 3, for 2, and last one. Beautiful. Release your hands down. Straighten into the legs, and then turn the heels out. So you, in your wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands directly underneath your shoulders. Inhale, long spine. And then exhale to fold. Hinging at the hips and bringing the top of the head down towards the earth. Just lengthening into the spine. Creating space. Tap into that beautiful fluid breath flow from the top of your inhale to the bottom of your exhale. One more. Good. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, pause here. Engage the legs, pull belly in. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale to rise all the way up. Turn your left toes to face the front of your mat. Warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. Whatever variation you took on the one side, you can do the same here. So I want you to feel for drawing your bottom ribs up towards the ceiling. Pulling them through. Take one more breath here. And exhale. Release your hands down. Step back to plank. Pull belly in. Take a deep breath in. And we're going to lower all the way down on the exhale. Nice. All right. Point your toes back. I want your feet about hip distance apart. And then bring your hands up onto your fingertips. And I want you to take your hands wider than your shoulders so they can go off of your mat. We're going to do a few giant loops here. You're going to reach your shoulders up to your ears and down as you lower. And again, inhaling the shoulders up towards your ears as you lift up, back and down as you lower. And just continue a few rounds like this, rolling the shoulders forward, up to the ears as you rise up. Shoulder blades draw back down as you lower. So this is one of the hardest areas to open up in the body because the upper spine is encased in the rib cage, and the rib cage has to protect a lot of important organs like the heart and the lungs and a whole lot of other solid organs. So our postures also tend to stiffen that area up. Let's take 3 more here. Moving with the breath. Good, and release. Just let your head, forehead rest down on the ground. Flatten your hands underneath your shoulders. Let the elbows soften down towards the mat next to your body. And just take a moment here. Just to feel into what you were doing. All right. So from here, your hands are grounded alongside your chest. I want you to draw your shoulder blades down your back and then come into cobra. So feel for pulling your heart forward. If you want to, from here, you can start to straighten the arms a bit and come into your king cobra, but don't let those shoulders draw up towards the ears. So soften them down, shoulder blades pulling down your back. Your waist is nice and long. Reach into the toes, firm the legs. Pull your heart forward and then down to the ground. Just resting on your left cheek. And just taking in all that information as you breathe. Soften and receive. Receiving the warmth from the heart. Coming deeper into connection with the wisdom of the heart. And then bring your head back to center, so forehead down on the ground. Interlace your hands behind your back. We're going to come into Salabhasana, locust pose. We're going to lift everything up on the exhale breath. So taking a deep inhale. On the exhale, start to lift up. I want you to feel the bottom ribs pull forward. Top ribs lift up. Go to the breath if you feel that there is nowhere else to go. One more. And release. Good. Resting onto the right cheek. Completely melt. Let go of effort. Good. And then come back to center, bringing your forehead down. All right. So from here, you can just come into your Sphinx and have a look up at the screen. I want to demo, we're going to come into an up dog, but I want to demo what a bad up dog kind of looks like. And I often see this in the classes. So the hands are kind of alongside the chest, and this is what I see as an up dog. So the heart is behind the arms, the elbows are locked, and you're sinking and collapsing into your lower back. So this does nothing to open the heart. All right, this just compresses the back and can stress out the elbow joints over time. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your hands further back so that they're alongside your ribs. You want to roll your shoulders back, firm your legs. My heart pulls through the arms as the shoulder blades come down. So this is a massive upper back bend. The elbows squeeze into the back ribs and pull my back ribs forward. So I want you to take your time here as you try, all right? So let's start together. Bring your hands and ground them down by your top ribs. Shoulders roll back and then push onto the back of your feet as you lift up and drag your heart forward as you stretch back through the toes. Feel the waist sliding through, outer elbows squeezing, shoulder blades are down. Lift the heart up, press into your feet, one more breath, and come all the way down, resting onto your left cheek. Good job. Whew, quite intense. Upward facing dog. Just breaking that down so that when you do come into it again, you know how it should be rather than just moving into it quickly, which is what we do in Vinyasa. From here, I want you to come into a child's pose. So come into your table tuck. Take your knees out wide, big toes touch. And take your seat back to your heels. As you stretch into the spine, this should feel pretty good on the lower back. Soften your heart down. Finding that fluid breath flow from inhale to exhale. Last one. Good. Let's start to cool that body down. So come all the way up onto all fours. Tuck your toes under and make your way into your downward facing dog. Your right leg is going to step forward between your hands, coming into a lunge. And then you're going to bring your left knee behind your right ankle and come all the way down into preparation for your seated twist. All right. So drawing that right knee to the center of your chest. If you find this difficult, you've always got the option to extend your bottom leg out in front of you. So make sure that you listen to your body and just adjust yourself as you need to. So knee draws in, make sure you're grounding down through both sit bones and you're not high up on the one. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to wrap our left arm around that right knee. And then bring your right hand behind you. Sitting up tall, breathing in deeply. Drawing that right knee in towards your body, closing the gap between your thigh and your abs. As you exhale, twist. Inhale, growing a little taller. And exhale, twisting a little deeper. Take 2 more like this. Nice. Inhale, bring yourself back to center. This time we are going to extend your bottom leg out in front of you, and your top knee, you kind of want to rest on top of your left thigh. So coming into a half Gomukhasana. So the knee is not pointing up towards the sky, but rather resting down on top of your left thigh with your foot just resting on the side. I want you to flex into that left foot. Again, sitting up tall, long spine. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. And then exhale, fold forward, bringing your hands down to the ground and reaching your heart forward. So relax into the head, drawing your chin down towards your chest as you soften. Just taking a few deep breaths here. So just let a softness take over the body as we start to calm the nervous system down. Last 2 breaths. Nice, and slowly roll the spine up. You can extend both legs out in front. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. So bringing your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. You're going to take your seated twist. So you can either tuck that right foot in towards your left hip, but making sure that your seat and your hips are leveled out. Or you can keep that right leg extended. Drawing your left knee to the center of your chest. Wrap that right arm all the way around and bring your left hand down to the ground behind you. Inhale to grow tall and exhale to twist. One more deep breath in. Exhale, twist using your abs. Let's take one more here. Nice. Inhale, bring it back to center. All right, extend the right leg, your bottom leg, straight. And then that top knee is going to rest on top of your bottom thigh, so that the foot is resting on the side of the ankle. Your right toes draw up towards the ceiling. We're going to take a nice deep inhale as you reach your arms all the way up. Soften into the shoulders. And then exhale, draw your heart forward as you come into your forward fold, bringing your hands down to the ground. And then just soften into your forward fold as you take a few deep breaths here. Good, last one. Slowly roll the spine up. Head comes up last. Extend your legs out in front of you. We're going to bend into the knees. Grab the front of the shins just below the knees and slowly make your way down onto your back. One vertebra at a time, nice and slow. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe rock from side to side. See how the body feels. What does it intuitively want to do? How does it want to move? All right, coming back to center. Keep that right knee drawing in towards your chest as you extend the left leg all the way down. We're going to take a spinal twist, so drawing that right knee all the way over to the left as you extend your right arm back behind you. And you can take your gaze up towards the ceiling or over to the right. Just softening into this posture. Just feeling the expansion in the chest and the heart. Opening yourself up to love more deeply, to feel more deeply. Love for yourself, love for others. Take one more breath. Inhale, bring it back to center. Hug those knees in. And then extend the right leg all the way down. That left knee draws all the way over to the right. So extend your left arm back behind you. Coming in for a spinal twist on the other side. Soften into that left shoulder, relax into the jaw. And just drop into the space that you've created in your practice today. I'll take one more breath here. Inhale, bring it back to center. Hug both knees in, give yourself one more squeeze, just taking any intuitive movements that you feel you need to. And then starting to set yourself up for your final resting pose. So grab something warm. Put something warm on if you haven't. Extend your legs all the way down. Take your feet nice and wide. Extend your arms out, palms facing up. Heart open to receive. Allow your eyes to close. And just start to let go. Letting go of controlling. Letting go of working. Letting go of all effort. And as you do, letting the body drop. Letting the order of your life go. And just resting in that place where we have absolutely no control. That's called surrendering. Resting in that place where we become part of everything else. Tap into the energy of everything else around. And when we do that, we, in a sense, return home. Slowly and very gently begin to draw yourself back to your body, back to your breath. Deepening into your breath as you invite some movement to your fingers and your toes. And then, if your body calls for it, stretch your arms overhead and give yourself a nice big full body stretch. If you need the stillness of being where you are, then stay as you are. And then from here, gently draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And roll over onto your left side using your arm to support your head. This world is not made of shades of gray. It is made of colors like coral and emerald and marigold. But it insists on painting everything in black and white and fitting it into boxes that it understands. Do not do that to yourself. Paint your personality a million different colors. Leave them scratching their heads, unsure of how to handle the magic that you are. When you're ready, gently bring yourself to seated, facing the front with your eyes closed. And bringing your hands into prayer, drawing them to your heart space. And just honoring the person that you are, the magic that is within you. Take a deep inhale and sigh it out. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. Until we meet on the mat again, the love, light, and understanding in me bow in honors to the love, light, and willingness in you. Namaste.